You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Chanel Lemire, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl Chanel Amir back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. First off, I just want to take this time to thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, and as much as I try to bring content to inspire and empower you, you give me that same energy and love right back. From tuning in to following the show to sending nice little motivational letters through the email. I see you too. Um, I'm just forever grateful, and it just makes my goal of just sharing space and aligning and sharing your stories much more rewarding, Like, I feel as though we continue to pour into each other, and I love that for us, for real. But today's episode is a really, really special one, and I think mainly because it's a solo one. Yeah, just you and me today, and I've been looking forward to it. I absolutely love that I get to engage in conversation with some amazing women, but I especially like the connection when it's just us, also. So I want to make sure that I continue to bring that to you. So definitely send me a message, an email, DM, anything on your thoughts. Do you like these solo episodes? And if you have any topic suggestions, also, anything, I'm for it. I'm down. I want to talk to you today, though, about going after your dreams and little insiders about how I'm currently doing so, and also, some tips and questions on how you can start doing the same, how you can start really getting to those dreams of yours. Now, first off, I want to just start things off by let's just talk about this fear thing and how scary it is to, it could be to really go after these dreams. Like, people don't talk about that too much. Like, sometimes our dreams are just so big that we get intimidated, and we start psyching ourselves out, for real. Like, now, if you're listening to some older episodes, I will start off by saying, quote that would go with the theme of the topic. And today I want to do the same. Like, I've been doing a lot of self-help reading on top of being in group coaching, and this particular quote just continues to show up. So, of course, I had to share it with you. But it says, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, it becomes your destiny." And this is by Law Tizu. Okay, I can't pronounce who this is, but if you Google that quote, I'm telling you, just say, "Watch your thoughts; they become your words," and that quote will come up. But this was so deep because when you're on the path of truly going after your dreams, it's important to know that there's going to be so many obstacles that come with this. And the main one is you. Yo, you. And if you don't notice by now, I strongly suggest that you reassess. Like, your goals got to get you hyped for real. Like, when they begin to carry some weight, you'll start to really want to just better yourself. Now, I talked about how thoughts become things, and I'll link that episode in the show notes. But when thinking deeply on this, it all trickles down to who you want to become and how you want to show up in this world. Like all the millions of thoughts that flows in your head daily, they influence your reality. And those thoughts affect your words and, the things that you tell yourself. And then we believe because we're constantly telling these things to ourselves over and over and over again that we didn't believe it. And it becomes a part of our actions that turn into the habits that form the way that we show up. Like, it is a mouthful, but it's true. Like, that's really how it is. So, yeah, this quote hit on a different level, and I just had to talk to you about it, okay? But I'm gonna just whip this convo back to where I started with this idea of fear. Like, honestly, I've been struggling a lot with fear lately, and it's something that I'm actively working through. Like, see, this creativity, the goal, my passion, my dreams, like they never stop. And I'm always dreaming up the next big thing, or how I can take my current dream and nourish it to grow and blossom into an even better dream. But in those dreams, I tend to have this sense of fear. Like, it shows up more for me when it comes on social media, like trying to be consistent with my content for you, as well as, my passion of storytelling as a videographer. Like, it's tough. And with that, I have to be creative, or at least I feel as though I have to be when I'm showing up, not only my story, but the story of all the beautiful people that I get to capture. Like, it's deep. And the crazy thing is I didn't have these issues when I was just posting a post. But now I feel everything that I'm putting out, it just has more weight to it. Like, now I have this purpose behind it. And I see how many people tune in. I notice how this sense of fear with showing up happens. Like, I see it. And now I'm thinking deep on, what I want to say. Like, did I say that correctly? Could I have interviewed this person better? Like, everything. Because more people are paying attention, which makes me want to, not want to misstep. Like, I'm trying to come correct. And that's tough. But that's where those underlying reasons of showing up, the underlying problem, that's where those are showing up. Like, I'm trying to be a perfectionist, like, way too many times, and it shows. Like, shaking my head, but I'm working through it, okay? Like, and I'm being vulnerable by telling you these things, so I know where you are at, like, because I'm growing through it also. And I know my intentions are good, and I want to make an impact and empower women like you to bloom into their full selves. By sharing how I'm doing so for myself, I feel as though I'm giving you those tools to try for yourself, to grow together. So I just wanted to be transparent. I have this fear of showing up at times because I'm being seen and heard more. The craziest thing is that was my goal in the first place. Like, now that is happening, now that I'm going after my dreams, those limiting beliefs are trying to pop up. And as I continue to share my truest self on these platforms, like here with you and on Clubhouse, being able to speak freely, like on live, that's where I'm seeing that I'm not alone in this. And these limiting beliefs are where we must, like, just continue to work on, like self-sabotage. I can safely say that, like, we have all had these moments, and some may be smaller or bigger than others. And I know for sure I do this a lot. Like I just listen. I don't even know. And when I think of what I need to get me through, it always comes down to being able to shift your mindset to get to these dreams. Learning how to take your power back in this moment. Gratitude is my first go to. Like, I think about how far I got to be able to be in this moment here with you. And I realized that I had to be that woman, like I had to do the things that made me uncomfortable because I knew my goal. Like, I knew my why. And I know that this is beyond me, it's about you and other like minded women just trying to grow through this journey of life and really choose to live it as best that we can. So I had to get out of my own way, and I'm constantly working towards getting out of my own way every day and just doing it anyway. It's crazy. You see, confidence is, a big deal for real. And it's really a dope skill to have if we want to go after our dreams. We got to have great confidence. And if we want to grow through this journey, we got to have great confidence in ourselves, and that shows in how we show up in this world. So I just wanted to share a few questions that I've been growing through as I continue to discover who it is that I am and want to be, but also from so many of the new connections with like-minded women that I get the opportunity to grow alongside one another. Like, these questions are constantly helping me, and I hope that they do the same for you too. And I strongly suggest that you journal about your answers to these questions, okay? So, the first question that I have for you is, are you tapping into who you really are? And I talked about this in a previous episode, like learning and understanding who you are. And a lot of us have been taught this based off of the people around us and our environments. And a lot of us were brought up in this scarcity mindset. But as more resources are opening and we continue to empower and pour into one another, that growth mindset starts to kick in. Of course, there's a threshold that needs to happen. Like, you have to grow through certain situations to open up that new level of thinking, of growing and evolving as a woman. Who are you, beautiful? And are you tapping into that woman? Oftentimes we get caught up in all these tasks, like, am I making sure to, like, am I making ends meet? Like, am I making sure that my babies are good? Am I making sure that my partner is good? My sister, like my mom, like everyone else. We get so caught up in this that we forget or lose track of us. So it's important to, first always make some time for yourself, whether it's, 15 minutes a day. Like, you can do that. Like, I mean, come on. Like, you can do that for yourself. Give yourself 15 minutes to be in tune with you, Start tapping into who you are and really, really getting deep into that. Like, it's important. And let's first talk about, like, just some of the benefits of this, like, the benefits of self-knowledge, of knowing who you are. Now, first off, of course, you're so much more happier. Another one is, less of those inner battles going on inside, where your feelings and your values are. Like, when you know who you are, there's no back and forth for real of being real and being fake. Like, you'll find it more peaceful to just be you. To just be you. You'll be able to make better decisions when you know yourself. Sometimes we get caught up on the smallest of details. I know I do, but knowing who you are and walking in that, you basically have the blueprint for real, because you're walking in that. And a few others are just, better self-control and understanding others, because You're more aware. You're more aware of yourself and others around you. So, do you know? Do you know who you are? And if you do, are you tapping into what that woman will be doing in this moment? Now she probably would be listening to, well, she probably already would have listened to this episode, but do you know what your values are? Like, there's so much research on just writing these things down in your journal, and it makes you more likely to do it, to walk in these. Like, what's your passion? What do you like to do? What do you find yourself paying more attention to? Like, what are your worries? Like, what do you be worried about? Like, how do you show up? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Or are you like, a little mix of the two? Like, do you like to plan things out, or do you like to go with the flow? Or are you a mix of both? Like, there's levels to this. Like, what's your strengths? What are you good at? These are the things that you're good at. What's important to you? Just knowing your strengths is one of the core foundations to self-confidence. Like, just knowing your strengths. Lastly, think about your life's missions and your goals. The goals that are most meaningful to you. Think about what have been some of the, best moments in your life. And when thinking about this, like, you can really discover your true identity to a life of wholeness. And now I know that was a lot of questions in a question, and honestly, like, I feel like this could be like a little mini masterclass for real. But I mean, that brings me to my next question. Like, are you following your goals, like your purpose and your vision? Like, when you find the answers to who you are and begin working towards your life's purpose, and the vision that you have for yourself, are you working towards these things? Like, are you in this moment? Your purpose literally helps you stand out in this world and hopefully make an impact for real, because that's what it's all about. That you came into this world and rock that shit. Like, you know a piece of my journey is just wanting to continue to feel free. And that I had to ask myself, like, Chanel, are you fully living freely? Like, are you challenging yourself, constantly aiming to be a better version of yourself? And are you implementing these things, like those feelings of freedom? And my answer is, yep, I am. And some days, there may be more motivation than others, and it's scary as hell. Like I said, I'm always scared of some shit. But I appreciate literally every piece of this story because it got me to this moment. You know how special that is? Like, I'm going after my goals, and at certain points, new goals grow from the previous. And it's really like a beautiful garden that I'm nurturing. And I honestly love that. And I want you to be able to experience the best of you also, really mind mapping out your goals and what feels right to you. Like, how do you see yourself years down the road? Like that grown ass woman in the future. Like, what would she be doing? What are your dreams, beautiful? Like, think about this. And when thinking about who you are, think about if you're fully participating in this thing we call life. Now, I know the pandemic had a lot of us in a chokehold, like me, but how are you bouncing back, right? With this new season finally here, like, oh my God, I'm so happy about that. It's time. It's time to get outside. Like, it's time to be outside. Like, it's so important not to allow these days to continue to fly past us constantly, over and over, like, without working towards the dreams and goals that you have. Like, if we got to this point together, like you said, you want to live this dream, right? I know you want to accomplish these goals, right? Are you doing something about it? Straight like that. Like, are you doing something about it? Because that passion should help nurture this growth. what you said you want and what you said you want it to become? Are you taking a risk? Or are you going for it? Because in those moments is when you can really appreciate everything that you had to grow through to get to this. In these moments where you're tested and who you said you are and who you want to become, you have to make that decision for them. Like, and that brings me to my next question on how you're really starting to tackle these mindset shifts and starting to live out these dreams of ours. Are you taking advantage of opportunities? Third question. And see, this one hit a little different for me. Like, opportunities show up every day, and it's really your choice on if you take them or not. But the key is knowing how to use these opportunities to help make your life more successful. And that's where we all want to be, right? So it's crucial to take advantage of opportunities as it presents itself. Like, currently in this entrepreneurial journey, I saw quick that successful people take advantage of opportunities. And a lot of us are faced with these in our lives, but only some people are actually they actually take advantage of them. And I want that for you, beautiful. Like, I see by just scratching the tip of what I can do, I see so much reward. But that's only if I have the right mindset and if I can continue nurturing that. Yes, it's going to be difficult at times or most times, because it's forcing you to yet again be uncomfortable. But we both know that's where there's an abundance of growth. Like, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm constantly saying this, constantly challenging yourself to build the habit of making that 1% improvement in your life. And when I really started taking advantage of opportunities, like, woof, like more and more continued to flow in. And as I continued to network and build relationships with clients through my videography journey and other like minded women and just showing up when the moment presented itself, like I saw the shift and I continue to see it. So I'm asking you, like, are you taking advantage of the opportunities when they come up on your journey? For me, that's a yes. When opportunities come my way that supports who I am and who I want to be, I'm taking them, like, period. Nervous and all, but I'm gonna hype myself up, you know? I'm gonna get into some of them good affirmations and I'm gonna get to work. I said this is who I wanted to be, right? Who I'm becoming. Would she take part? Absolutely, yes. So I'm gonna take part. And I'm gonna take advantage of those opportunities and just continuing to put your time in, your energy and your effort, putting that all into them. Are we doing all the things that we said that we're doing? Like, what I say? Are we doing all the things, or are we half stepping? And I know you heard that saying before. Like, that's a classic. Like, straight like that. Like, we gotta stop half stepping. And I know I am, and I hope you are too. And now this next question is a big part of my why for the What She Grows Through podcast. And that's just self-love. Like, are you consistently nurturing yourself and learning how to nurture your inner core, like that inner you, as you grow through this thing that, we call life is a process, just like trees, just like plants, just like a garden. You have to start with that seed and provide it with the fertile soil for it to grow. And then you have to take these skills given to you and taught to you to continue to nourish these seeds, to give it those nutrients. Even in our blooming seasons, like, we have to continue to nourish ourselves. And I know you hear this all the time, self-love, but self-love is not a trend. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's actually a realization of self-worth. And that's even deep, like, I couldn't have agreed more. In every part of us, mentally, physically and spiritually, this search for self-love is rooted deep down in how we feel about ourselves. Like, Now y'all know that I can get deep on some stuff, but we really at times view who we are by how others they see us. But the real thing that we need to do is limit ourselves from those expectations and recognize our potential and the growth in that. It's so important how we talk to ourselves. And if you understood like how powerful your thoughts are, like I'm telling you, like what you constantly tell yourself over and over in your head, they become things. And a lot of us at times we're too hard on ourselves. We expect a lot from ourselves. Like I'm a perfectionist. I was raised in a space that, growing up for me, self-worth equal to getting good grades, and now I'm in a space where I had to be this perfect child, and I was far from that. Like, always remember that you're responsible for you and your life, beautiful. Like, even when you're a mom and a sister and a daughter, like, you're still responsible for you in your life. Do you know that you're the only relationship that you will have forever? So you really gotta give some love to that person, like to that woman. Like, damn, like she needs that too. And are you treating yourself like you would someone you love? Like, are you hyping yourself like you would do Bay or your best friend? Like, are you taking care of and nurturing yourself with the coping skills and resources to continue to grow through life, like to help you bloom? Like, bottom line, are you thinking about you? Like, it all aligns, it's all important. Sometimes we got to talk about us, like how we treat ourselves, if we're going after our dreams, because that's what it's all about. If we're pursuing our goals and our desires, like, are we protecting our energy while doing so? Are we doing the things and are we putting those things in action? Like, building ourselves up and surrounding ourselves with that community of like-minded women, like, or like-minded people. I won't be sexist. But are we doing that? Like, it sounds like a lot of nurturance to me. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but it sounds like a lot of win-wins. And that brings me to my last question to begin answering, to start growing and tackling your goals and dreams is, what are the habits that you're embodying, and do they support who you say that you want to be? And be honest with yourself. Like, like, are you showing up for you? Are you showing up in these other spaces? Like, what are you doing to build good habits that'll lead you on a path towards your dreams? And really think about that. And think about the systems that you have to put in place to do this. Like, what I mean by this is, if you're trying to build the habit of journaling more because you know that it'll help you, what are you doing differently to begin working on this? A system would be like putting journals in areas where you're most relaxed or, can see easily. So that time when you're sitting on the couch with your glass of wine or, you see that journal on a coffee table and look at you now. You're thinking like, should I do what's right? Like, should I do who should I be who I said I wanted to be? Should I do something more productive and journal for a few? Let me do it a little bit, You get to choose. You get to make those decisions, but you can use different systems to get you to build these habits that'll lead you to your dreams. Like, it all aligns. And I highly recommend the book Atomic Habits. Like, I read it twice now. Like, that's how dope it is. And I'm actively trying to build these things. And, like, I'm going to share these gems with you, of course. So you got to reflect and evaluate on the choices that you make, on those habits that you build. Like, are they helping you through to your dreams, or are they hindering your growth? And I'm telling you, beautiful, like, we about to get it. Like, I'm really excited for real. Like, we have to continue growing through those thresholds to make that 1% improvement in my life, to be 1% better than I was yesterday. That 1% improvement adds up super quick. but so does the other side. So you definitely don't want to be on that side, like not making any improvements at all, you know? In a quote in the book, it said, rather than trying to do something amazing from the beginning, start small and gradually improve. And along the way, your willpower and motivation will increase, which will then make it easier to stick to that habit. And that was perfect for me. Like habits, like they're crucial. And when they mean by atomic habits, that means just those little habits that make the biggest of impacts. What systems are you putting in place to build these habits? Like, what are your goals? Like, all these things should support the end goal of who you want to become, to live a more successful and meaningful life, to live your dreams, you know? So that was a lot, but wrapping everything up, like, just knowing that the battle is all inside your head. And like we said, what that the quote, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, because your character is your destiny. And character is everything. So the people that we surround ourselves by, the people that we listen to, you know, sometimes we can get depleted at times, but it's important that we acknowledge what this is and continue just to be the best version of ourselves. Like, you can only be yourself, beautiful. Like, why are we competing and comparing for completely different things? We really only have one life, and you get to choose how you want to spend it. Are you spending your life going after your dreams and your goals? And if I'm actively, you know, working on the person that I want to become, you know, I don't got time to not be living. Like, I got babies to raise. Like, I got trips I need to go on. Like, I got goals and stuff. Like, and if you got to this point, I know you got a few. And if we do the work, if you're doing you and I'm doing me, we don't got time. And time becomes that much more precious. So try to have a strategy plan for your life, you know? What plans do you want to have for your life? Like, what systems do you have in place to start receiving these goals? Like, we got to start taking ourselves more seriously. If there's no evidence of the time, you know, and the resources that, you know, we're investing in the person that we say that we want to become, like, are we really trying to become her? Like, are you really trying to live your dreams? Just said, time is important. Are you dedicating enough time to become her? Are you using all these resources? Are you surrounding yourself with like-minded women? Are you surrounding yourself with the people who are getting it too, that'll help motivate you to get it? Like, are you tapping into all these gifts that you have? We get to create the life that we want. And every day we make that decision on whether or not that we're going to do what it is that we got to do to get to the life that we said that we wanted. And no one else can make those decisions. Only you. So we can have as much support, you know, as we want, but at the end of the day, we get to choose. So as we continue working on who we want to become, let's grow alongside one another, you know? I'm excited about it. And with that, thank you. Thank you for rocking with me up until this point. Like I said, like before, I really appreciate you. And I hope to continue sharing and empowering and aligning with women like you. If anything resonated with you through this episode, definitely shoot me a message, an email, or comment. And also rate the show 5 stars. It really helps to get the message spread and bringing together more like-minded women. And check out this new feature on your screen all the way up at the top right. There's a plus sign. Hit that to follow the show and get notified first for all the new episodes that are about to be flowing through. But I enjoyed myself, and I look forward to chatting with you again. Until then.